Since Air Force One, the world has not experienced a better presidential kidnapping movie than the one I watched last night. Olympus Has Fallen. I was gonna do some crazy clip and get all decked out in American flags and all kinds of stuff and go America, but I don't have a lot of American flags and I don't really like to say America. So let's go right over to the Crave scale and talk about this movie. First, story. Story's gonna be a 7 out of 10. I thought this movie was gonna be just kind of like a dumb movie about the president getting kidnapped, and it was not going to be executed very well, because in the first 15 minutes I was just not impressed. And then all of a sudden just the White House is just attacked from all directions by terrorists, and these bombs start exploding, and this plane is like strafing Washington, D.C., and you're just sitting there thinking, oh my word, is that really happening? Like, you're just blown away, and I don't know if the first 15 minutes were just supposed to, like, lull you into the sense of, okay, real world, we don't care about these people, and then, I mean, I don't know, but I was just sitting there in shock as the White House is just being totally destroyed. It's overwhelming, and that wow factor is carried on through the rest of the movie, because they show footage of Washington, D.C., like from news copters and all kinds of stuff. But it's not the Washington, D.C. we know. The White House is like half in ruins, and there's dead bodies everywhere, and the Washington Monument's like sitting in the background with like a crumbled top. It's just, it's amazing. And from that point on, the movie ceases to be any kind of intellectual, well, there's this person, and they need to be connected somehow. No, it's just a straight up fun movie, and I did not care at all that it was unbelievable. So, it's that kind of a movie. So, 2, acting. Acting's a 6 out of 10. While the story is fun and the movie is fun and everyone should go see it, I was not that impressed with the acting in this movie. I've seen Aaron Eckhart do better in other movies. Gerard Butler's also not that phenomenal of an actor. He is capable of wisecracking and stuff when he's running around, but whenever he's actually talking to someone, he's not that good of an actor. And finally, Morgan Freeman, surprisingly, was not even on his A-game in this movie. Normally, whatever role he has, even if he's supposed to be like a timid Speaker of the House that's just thrust into this position of power, and he has to save the president, and he has to save America, and he has to meet all these terrorist demands, Morgan Freeman could still do a better job of that person than what he did in this movie. He was kind of like, not really sure of himself, but then he'd be like overly aggressive, and he'd be like, no, I'm in charge! And then he'd be timid again, and like not really sure of himself, and just, it fluctuated, and it was kind of frustrating because of that. The music blew me away in this movie. It had hints of like actual patriotic sounding music in it. There's like John Philip Sousa in there, and all kinds of stuff, like you can hear hints of everything in this music, and it's really well put together, and I liked that. So the music is an 8 out of 10. Now, the technical aspects of this movie are kind of iffy, because I wasn't too wild about a lot of stuff in this movie. There were some pretty fast cuts in the action sequences that kept the action carrying along. The TV show 24 has had better cinematography in some aspects than this movie, and this movie is very 24-ish as well, so there's that. But there was one cool scene in the beginning where there's this giant plane with like guns coming out of the side that's just strafing everywhere in Washington, D.C. It's just like circling the mall, just like strafing streets and killing tons of people. And it's like just flying around the Washington Monument. And overall, it looks really believable. Like you can tell there's some CG aspects in it, but you're just sitting there thinking, a plane just flew around the Washington Monument. The director, Anton Fuqua, it was like no holds barred for him. Like nothing was sacred. Like he was just going to destroy Washington, D.C. The message of this movie is really, really easy. We're America, you mess with our president, we will make sure none of your people live. Ever. And your leader will die in a really, really gruesome way. Just to prove a point that we're America. Should you go watch this movie? It's about a dude saving the president. People in the audience stood and clapped for when Gerard Butler saved the president and killed the bad guy. A fictitious president! A fictitious bad guy! And Americans were still like clapping and cheering and like waving their arms and stuff in the movie theater. That's this kind of a movie. Like if you're American, you need to see this movie, and that's it. I have nothing else to say about it.